Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. So nice to have you on today. I know a couple weeks ago, I was gushing about having a brand shoot, and I was able to show you a little bit behind the scenes. Now I have my brand photographer on the podcast to share a little bit about that process. So welcome, Andrea.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, I am so excited because I loved our last session. I just needed to get you on to get a couple more people a little bit more comfortable with the idea of doing a brand photo shoot also, because I know one of the biggest things that you talk about a lot is people's confidence, and that people don't have the confidence to get in front of the camera. Definitely. So I think part of that too is knowing the importance of why somebody should have a brand shoot. Yeah. So why should an entrepreneur invest in doing a brand photo shoot?
Because as an entrepreneur, people buy from the people that they know. Mm-hmm. So you need to show up. Like, you hear it and it sounds cliche, right?
Yeah.
Show up. What does that mean? So how are you going to show up, right? Mm-hmm. And even in my own, as an example, personal, every time I post a picture of myself, which I don't want to be posting pictures of me as a photographer, mm-hmm. but that's where I get the most engagement.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
Yes. So I'm not trying to promote me, my picture of my personal photos, but if that's what gets the most engagement, because I'm always talking about me and what I do and what I think, and, the about me aspect is just intriguing to people, and mm-hmm. That's how they actually end up booking me, because they get to see me, they get to know me, and they're like, oh, I can work with her, she's cool, let's book her. It the same way works for every entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. If I'm gonna book a cruise, and that's the business that you're in, and all you post is pictures of cruises and I don't see you, I'm not going to feel as comfortable as if someone that's constantly, in front of the camera telling me, you don't have to come up and do videos and stuff like that. Cause I'm very, the videos, I'm trying to get there still, mm-hmm. Yeah. But with photography, you definitely need to put yourself out there. Especially in this day and age where social media, it's basically where we get most of our bread and butter,
Right. No, and you say that, and one of the people that I follow, Courtney Foster Donahue, she just did a really funny reel saying, you see all these pictures that I posted, this is the behind the scenes, and they're all the laughing photos. And so she just took videos of when she would take the photos and be like, ha ha ha, this is so funny right now.
Yeah. I mean, and it's been a long time. We see celebrities, right? Their whole social media, it's them in front of the camera. Yeah. We're not trying to be celebrities or anything like that, but it just goes to show that you have to let your audience know who you are. Mm-hmm. Also, so even if it's not for social media, you have a website. Mm-hmm. The first thing that people see when they go to the website, they have to see you, who you are. Right. You need an about me page, right, on your mm-hmm. website. So you need to let, again, the people that you're trying to, if you want someone to spend money on you, they have to know who they're spending the money on. Right. If you have a speaking engagement, you need a headshot.
Yes.
If you are going to start a LinkedIn page, you need a headshot. Mm-hmm. And I remember working at the university and when I was in corporate, seeing all these LinkedIn profiles that are selfies, and that would kill me. I would be like, how you think you're gonna
Yes.
get a job when you posting a selfie of you in a car
Right.
or I don't know, at a bar? You will. It's crazy. So yeah, it is important. It's very important because everything is digital now,
Hmm.
and so we have to evolve with times.
Right, right. And that's, I mean, the last time I got business cards printed, I put a branding photo on the business card because for me, I feel like that just helps to identify. Like you may not remember Rita, but when you see my face, you're like, okay, that's the
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, that too. And so the other business that I am in is real estate. So
Hmm.
imagine a real estate agent not showing their faces. I mean,
Right.
it can go both ways because I've heard people say, "No, I'm not going to put my picture on the business card because to avoid discrimination, to avoid whatever."
Hmm.
Um, but even if you having a digital business card, which that's in, you still need a picture. So
Right.
I don't know how people think that they can get out of it. You can't. You need a photo. You need photography. You need it. It's not
Right.
like before. Um, I remember when I was little, when you talk about taking a picture, you had to go to a photo studio and
Hmm.
had this huge cameras, and then you had to wait like I don't know forever for the pictures, and most of the pictures were black and white, and
Hmm.
and but they were prints. Now everything is digital, and it's so much faster to just
Right.
get access to it.
Yeah.
And you download them, you keep them in your computer, you have a folder with your branding photos there that you always going to be able to use.
That's what I
How long
do.
have you been using your first branding photos that you took with me?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I got my first branding photos, I think 2018 or 2019. And
But
they're
with me, it
still,
was last year.
yeah. Last, and
The
those
first branding
photos are
photos
on everything.
yeah, so you took those branding photos maybe like a year ago, probably,
Right.
or almost about a year, and it was during the middle of the pandemic. But one session, you've been able to use it for an entire year, and then
Hmm.
you come back and you make another investment because you want to rebrand, or you look different, or you have a new style, whatever it is, you need a refresh, right? So I'm not
Right.
saying that people need every week unless you are an
Oh, no.
influencer, a
Right.
blogger. The bloggers and influencers, they need it like every month. Every month
Hmm.
they are producing content and stuff like that. But for the average business and entrepreneur, um, at least every 6 months to a year, you
Hmm.
should get branding photos.
Well, and that's a really good point because I am participating in a summit this week
Mhm.
and somebody's had a photo up. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna listen to this person. The webinar started playing. I was like, who's that person? That
Oh my
person like
God.
looked at least 10,
Completely
20
different.
years different. Somebody who looks like me with dark hair in the picture, but with peppered hair in the webinar. And I'm like, oh no, no. I feel like that's what is it? Like catfishing when you're dating.
And again, that happens all the time with realtors.
Hmm.
And I'm speaking because that's the industry that I'm in as well, and I know it so well. There's
Hmm.
some realtors that have not had a headshot
Yeah.
for 10, 15 years, and they think that's okay. That is not okay.
No.
That is not okay because you're gonna go show a house, and then you show up, this is the person, and it's becoming so obvious that it's a meme, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. You
Right.
need to make the investment in yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I know the answer to this, but as a photographer,
Okay.
how can entrepreneurs, like when they go to you for a branding session, how can they make your life easier during the shoot?
Well, it starts before the shoot,
Hmm.
right? We always talk. I like once the person is booked, I well, it starts when you first make the request online because I have a questionnaire.
Okay.
And the questionnaire tells me why you're looking for branding, what the industry that you're in. Are you comfortable in front of the camera? I usually ask, what's your favorite music? Because if you're shooting here at the studio, I was playing music when you got here.
Yeah.
So I usually give wine like, so people can listen up. It depends. I try to work it, and especially for us women, I try everything I can to make my client feel comfortable.
Hmm.
But it's being honest. That's
Hmm.
the best way that they can make their session comfortable, and and me more comfortable shooting. Because if you're honest with me up front and you tell me, so I shoot women all the time,
Hmm.
and I don't like this about me, or myself, like my arms are too big, then don't wear anything that shows your arms. Okay.
Right.
You don't like your arms, wear sleeves,
Yeah.
wear a jacket. You have some rolls, extra rolls, and you don't want them to show, then try to wear something that you're still comfortable with,
Hmm.
but it's gonna, lessen that, right?
Yeah.
So that's about it. It's before the session that's very important, to get to that level of, even if I'm not comfortable in front of the camera,
Hmm.
I'm trying my best. And if they booking me, is because they trust me
Right.
that I will make it happen for them, even if they're not comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Now, during the shoot, it's very important to come prepare. I
Mhm.
mean, you are the perfect example, not because I'm talking to you, but you came in, you were super ready. You had your makeup done, your hair done, you had a whole bunch of props. You knew exactly what you wanted, right?
Mhm.
And that's exactly what I need. I'm gonna give you an example. I have someone on my DM that has been requesting, like, asking me questions, and she wants to shoot for products, and she's just so, like, she's not 100% sure of what she wants, or maybe she knows what she wants, but she doesn't think, me or whoever can deliver.
Mm.
And I said, listen, you just have to book it, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to plan so much. You have products, you have lifestyle, book it, bring it in, and I'll make it happen for you.
Mhm.
So that's very important. You have to know what you want, and you have to trust the person that you're paying your money to,
Yeah.
that is going to deliver what you're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that I would say you need to set goals. The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur is brought to you by Mailbox Power. Harness the power to attract and nurture your clients through something many entrepreneurs have forgotten about: the mailbox. Create beautiful custom campaigns and automate annual mailings for birthdays and holidays. And with a pro account, get access to mailboxes not currently on your mailing list that are just waiting for the travel service you offer. Visit my Mailbox Power affiliate link in the show notes to get started today and support this podcast. For what kind of shots, and like what will you be using the shots
Yeah.
for?
Mhm.
Because that will help you to set up, because my first shoot with you was very different from this shoot with you, because I think my first shoot also was like trying to get to know you and your style. And as soon as you took a couple pictures, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen and do whatever this lady tells me to do, because the pictures are coming out really great.
Yeah, and that's a tactic that I have, right?
Uh-huh.
If we never shot together, I do a couple of shots first, and then
Mhm.
I show them to you,
Uh-huh.
because that's something that I learned at a workshop from like super heavy hitter photographer.
Uh-huh.
And he said, people are scared of what they're gonna look like in the
Yeah.
camera. So when you take your camera and you walk to them and you're like, oh my God, look at, and you know me, I can be hyped,
Yeah,
like,
you're great.
oh my God, look. And so walking up to you and showing you the photo,
Mhm.
it changes completely the mood, because now you're like, even if you didn't like the one that I showed you, then you know what to do next, because
Mhm.
you want the photos to come out a certain way.
Right.
So that's a tactic that I use, to make, I just always, some photographers, believe it or not, would not show you the photos, on the
Oh.
camera. Like I've heard that before, but I'm comfortable showing it.
Yeah.
Especially if I really like the way they coming out, I do it. And for me, it works. It works because it makes my subject, my client, comfortable.
Right.
And some people, I'm not gonna say all of them, but for the most part, people get it. They're like, oh, okay, I know what to do next, or maybe I'll do this, or so it works for me.
Yeah.
And not 100% of the time, but most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So what would you say is one of your favorite like poses or shots to get of an entrepreneur during a shoot?
Just them being themselves and letting go.
Okay.
My favorite part is when you're not posing, when you're not like people stop breathing when I'm pointing. Have you noticed that?
I've done it before. It's kind of like the nerves.
As a photographer, I stop breathing because I want to lessen the shaking on my shot, right?
Okay.
But I know that my subject is not breathing. Yeah, I'm like, you have to just. So what do? I just loosen up. I make a joke or I laugh or I'm like, okay, I'll do this or look that way. Remember, I do that.
Yes.
Look that way and smile. Pretend that somebody's calling you from over there and laugh. Whatever. You have to make it work. And that's a tactic that I use because, I again, it's important when you invest in yourself. I invest in myself.
Me too.
Right? I go to workshops. I go and take workshops from photographers that have been in the game way longer than I have. And that's one thing that I learned. Until that photographer told me that people stop breathing when you're shooting, I was like, I never thought of that. Oh my God. And then I started observing that. And it's true. People are like waiting for you to take that picture. And it's like, I just want you to loosen up, be yourself, laugh, smile, move. The movement is what makes the photo.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. No, I did I forget what song had come on. And I was like, ooh, okay, I'm going to dance to this one a little bit. And it's also like a little uplifting. It's kind of like you've been posing a little bit. So let's do a little bit something different. Definitely.
And that's on my questionnaire is what's your favorite music, and some people are like, I don't know. Right. Because everybody's different. But for the most part, to me, music is universal. So everybody has their favorite song, their favorite artist. And I think that makes you more comfortable and it helps the client feel like this is not a shoot. This is just, we're hanging out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how it felt.
And what did I do? I always do the headshots first.
Yes.
Because the headshots are serious and that's when you're serious, you're still like a little bit apprehensive at first.
You got the most energy.
Loosen up, yeah. And as you and as you loosen up, then I start doing the lifestyle part. And then I go back into headshots. And people don't notice that. Because the first few photos that I take, they always going to be different than the last few photos that you take. Because by the last few photos, people are already comfortable. They're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, like what happened with us? Like time flew. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go. But that never fails.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you so much for coming in and giving a couple tips. Where can people follow you at?
Andrea De La Cruz Photography on Instagram. And my website is andreadelacruz.com. I'm trying to brand my Andrea De La Cruz name.
Yeah.
So my name, it's me. So I have the website and I have my Instagram and I have Facebook, but I don't really use Facebook that much. And it's the same as Andrea De La Cruz Photography. And what I do with Facebook is that everything that I post on Instagram goes straight to Facebook. So, but Instagram is the best way to follow me and get a hold of me.
Yep. That's how I found you. So if you are in the Orlando area, make sure to reach out. so that she can do some branding photos for you. She does mini sessions, so you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like an hour-long shoot. It just can be a couple of minutes if you just want a couple of quick headshots. But I highly recommend investing in yourself and getting some branding photos done. So thank you, Andrea, for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me on The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave a show rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.